for the spectators, for the rest of the world, and we have to show if we deserve this credit, so to be the best final in the last decade, in the last 10 years. We're going to try. I am convinced I'm going to press up to play the best football as possible they know to play, and we are going to make the same. So when you play in the final and both teams want to win and both teams want to play and one teams respect the ball and one attack, for the rest of the world, I can imagine will be a good final. And at the end, they have their strength. We have our power skills, and we have to try who dominate, who control best their own situations.
Well, that was recorded a couple of minutes ago. Pep Guardiola's press conference started at 6:30, and now at 7:10, he's still going strong. So although his team are out behind us, he's not here to supervise training at the moment. Is that usual? Would you say, well, Ediur? Is he normally very hands-on?
He is very hands-on, and I think the session will not start until he arrives.
Because it has looked very low-key, to say the least, hasn't it?
To say the least. Everyone just wandering around, passing the ball a little bit. I'm sure they're waiting for the boss to walk out on the pitch.
Okay, so we could expect that press conference to end pretty soon.
This is just about familiarising yourself with the stadium. The players have all been here before, I'm sure, but it's just about, you're down there, this is the area I'm going to play in, just getting a feel what the pitch is going to be like. I was a wee bit surprised, and I said to you that they've come out and started bashing balls around without doing any sort of warm-up at all. If anyone's got a little niggle, you're going to aggravate it, but it must be something to do regularly.
Yeah, although it's at such a leisurely pace, isn't it?
Yeah, but you still bash it. You still, if you watch them, they're all striking it with force.
Okay. We talked briefly about Lionel Messi, but obviously every camera is trained on him here, Jamie. Yeah. He's never scored a goal in England, which surprised me. 7 club appearances, 1 international appearance. Is he the sort of character who might let that weigh on his mind?
I wouldn't have thought so. He scored plenty of goals against English sides, notably in 2009. So I don't think he'll be worried about it too much. He'll just be looking forward to this occasion. He must have so much confidence at the moment. I think he's got 52 goals in 54 games this year. I mean, would you be worried about not scoring again in England? I mean, the sort of form he's in. I mean, Ida knows him well, but he's an incredible footballer, isn't he?
He seems to handle the weight of expectation absolutely brilliantly. It doesn't seem to concern him at all.
Well, he does, and he has done now for a few years, because when he came through the ranks at Barcelona, he was already being talked about as the next Maradona, if you like. And it's just great to see a player and a person living up to that. And taking it in his stride. Everything looks very easy to him, and just a pleasure to watch, and both on and off the pitch.
Pep Guardiola has just finished his press conference, so he'll be out here very shortly. Big games often throw out fairy stories, don't they, Graeme? But if Eric Abidal does play, and if Barcelona are to win the Champions League, what a story that is. It's just 2 months since he had a major, effectively life-saving operation, a tumour on his liver. It's an astonishing story.
Yeah, and I think we saw in the semi-final how popular a guy is when he came on briefly, and all the players were throwing him in the air and celebrating with him. And I think he needs to play for Barcelona, because I think a main threat for Man United is a set piece. The way Vidic attacks the ball, I think that is an obvious threat. So I think they want Abidal to play for that reason, as well as in football there's no sentiment. He's only going to play if he's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And as much as maybe the manager would want to involve him because it would be a nice occasion and we might win it, it's a hard-nosed business we're in, Jeff. If he's right, he'll play. If he's not right, he won't play.
There's no doubt that the balance of the team is much better with Abidal in it than Mascherano as centre-half, even though he's a good player.
I think Sir Alex Ferguson would rather Mascherano play centre-back, though.
Of course, if you're Wayne Rooney or Hernandez, you'd rather have Mascherano playing as a centre-half than Puyol. So settled back 4 is with Abidal in it, no questions.
When we talk about the Barcelona side, one player we rarely mention, Jamie, is Pedro. Yet he's got 20-odd goals this season for him. He's almost below the radar.
Oh, he is. I mean, but he's a sort of guy that he makes fantastic runs from. And Patrice Evra will have to be so careful, because he makes little blindside runs just in behind him all the time. He's always on the move, very quick, works very hard for his team when he hasn't got the ball as well. But like Villa, I mean, Villa is probably the one player in this team that perhaps doesn't enjoy it as much as everybody else, because for Spain, he's the top man. He plays where Messi plays. But for Barcelona, he's having to play on the left or on the right, and I don't think he's perhaps enjoyed it as much as what he's like. He's only got one, I think, in his last 16 games, David Villa. I mean, for Spain, he can't stop scoring. So he's not coming into this final in great form. I mean, that's the way that they play, but the fact that he has to play wide, I don't think it suits him as much, does it?
He probably has to sacrifice a little bit of his natural game playing out wide. But in saying that, if we have 3 strikers getting over 30, 40 goals, it would be some season, wouldn't it, for Barcelona?
So between the three of them. Yeah, it's not bad.
So it's not bad at all.
Is that one of the things you've got to come to terms with, though, when you join Barcelona, Ediur, is the fact that, you know, you may not be the big fish, well, you certainly won't be the big fish in the small pond anymore. You'll be amongst a whole shoal of big fishes. Yeah,
and especially after Guardiola took over, this is what he emphasised, is we play for the team here. And that's why you mentioned Pedro. That's probably why Pedro earned himself a place in that team, because all round works very hard for the team. His movement's great, great attacking ability, puts the ball in the net to help him as well. But typical Guardiola player in that position. And David Villa has had to sort of try and copy that. Might not be his natural position, but I'm sure he's enjoying playing for the best club in the world, arguably.
Yeah. Graeme, you were pinpointing the fact that, you know, Manchester United can cause Barcelona problems, no question about that. We wonder who'll be playing in the centre of the defence. We know that Piqué will be. For a start, are you surprised at just how much he's flourished since he's gone back to Barcelona from Manchester United?
He was a young player. Just maybe the aggressive side, the confrontational side, the in-your-face part of English football didn't really suit him. And I think he's gone there where Barcelona have the vast majority of the ball. We know that from than whoever they're playing against. And I think that just maybe, if you were to say what is his biggest asset, it's about him getting on the ball and starting things from the back. You know, that ball launched down the middle where he's having to compete with a big aggressive centre forward as he would do in English football, is just maybe not for him. But certainly in this system, in this football, in this team,
It'd be difficult for him as well. He's a young player, he's obviously very ambitious, and he's looked at, you have to look at the future. He's probably thought, well, Rio Ferdinand at the time was 27, 28 in the peak of his powers, as was Nemanja Vidic. And he probably thinks, I'm not going to get my game here. He's Catalonian, that's his area, that's his team. He's spoken about it this week. He's made a great decision. I must admit, at the time, I thought, well, Sir Alex, if he felt that he was that good a player, he wouldn't have sold him. But there must have been a number of factors, and he has certainly made the right decision.
He's obviously made a jump. He's made a jump.
Yeah, big decision.
Big jump. But I was there when we signed Piqué, and he walked through the door as if he'd been there for 10 years.
Really, yeah.
He was straight away in his comfort zone, comfortable in the dressing room. They knew about his quality, obviously, and just you can see a player coming here that feels at home straight away, and bags of confidence naturally.
He starts so many of the attacks as well, Ediur, doesn't he?
He does.
He starts the play, but he's so confident on the ball.
Confident on the ball, good passer of the ball. And I'll tell you what, in the games 2009 leading up to the final, when we played Chelsea, especially at Stamford Bridge, he was incredible that night, and he pulled the team through to the final.
I mean, there is a school of thought that, you know, he's not quite the same player without Carlos Puyol alongside him to hold his hand, so to speak. Is that unfair?
Well, I think it's a little bit harsh, in all honesty. You know, I've heard people say that Iniesta's not the same player without Xavi alongside him. You know, we probably wouldn't be the same player without Messi alongside us. It's a little bit exaggerated. Unfair criticism.
What about this man, Ediur, Pep Guardiola, and how good is he?
He's incredible. I think his knowledge of football is second to none. He brings across to the team what he wants from the team very easily. And if you're not 100%, you don't play in his team.
What's he like as a character? I mean, has he got a hairdryer in the Sir Alex Ferguson mode?
He's got one in his locker somewhere, but it doesn't come out that often. I think he
doesn't need one. He's got no hair.
he would let the team feel that he's disappointed with the performance more than anything else. And playing for Barcelona, the crowd, the city, everyone around you will make you feel. They'll let you know when they're not happy with your performance. Rest assured.
I mean, all the Barcelona players are obviously household names, aren't they, Chippy? I mean, Dani Alves gets some pretty bad press in this country, doesn't he, you know, from time to time, particularly for the fact that he tends to go down a little easily.
Yeah, a little bit. And I think, you know, Busquets as well, I think, very much in the same vein. And at times you don't win. It's certainly not a way to win over the fans, but if you take that aside, one of the best attacking right-backs in the world. You know, Chelsea were trying to sign him probably when you were there, Ida, when he left Seville, and he's gone to Barcelona, just gone from strength to strength. I mean, he's such an addition to this team, and it'll be a great contest tomorrow, because if Park plays on the left against Daniel Alves, they will run a marathon between them, and it's a case of almost survival of the fittest, because they'll be trying to, Daniel Alves will want to take him back, and obviously he'll want to come run him the other way when he Gudjohnsen Park, so it'll be one to watch tomorrow, and they will run some miles, Graeme, won't they?
He doesn't like running back the way. We saw that with the goal Arsenal got, Arsenal's second goal.
But it's not very often he has to, Graeme, is it?
They have that. We always seem to come back to that Barcelona have that much of the ball, Jeff, and that is the key. You know, he'll be prepared to run forward when the ball's 30 yards behind him, because he knows that they don't give it away very often. If you're a fullback and you're wanting to raid all the time, but you know your centre midfield player keeps giving the ball away, you're not going to threaten to go. Yeah. You're going to stay.
We saw it in the game against Madrid in the semi-finals, where he sees the ball being played into Valdez, and Daniel Alves starts running up the pitch, knowing that Valdez plays a side-footed ball into his path, and they go and score the first goal. So it's a mixture of confidence.
I just wonder, when we talk about those games, you know, the Real Madrid-Barcelona games in particular, how big a role has the referee got to play? Young Hungarian referee.
In that, sorry, I thought you were talking about that semi-final.
No, for this game.
He's got a big part to play, but you've got two teams that play the game the right way. I don't expect to be any antics tomorrow. No. I think, you know, this is... I think when you saw Guardiola's press conference there, there's a feeling that he knows that they have to be seen to be playing the Barcelona way all the time. And tomorrow is the biggest stage of all for them. And Manchester United are an enormous football club. They only play one way under Fergie. So it should be, on paper, an absolute cracking game. Both teams trying to win the game. And I don't see the referee having much to do tomorrow. I hope so, because that would make it a good game.
You look at the midfield normally, that's where there might be something a bit spiky, but you don't see that with Giggs and Carrick or Xavi and Iniesta. No. It's just not going to be that sort of game.
No, and I think after the semi-final, the fact that it was Barcelona-Madrid, all the history between the two clubs, it just got out of hand in that first game, didn't it?
Well, what a night lies ahead of us then. It should be a special occasion. We're on the air live from 6 o'clock to soak up the atmosphere here at Wembley. Here's a little taste of what we've got in store.
I do remember the importance of it, you know, a big responsibility, and we prevailed, fortunately.
I always had confidence that we should win. And today the Tour was the perfect moment to do it.
Never thought to play in Barcelona when I was a boy, never thought to win a Champions League, never thought, and became a coach. But now to beat one of the best teams of the world in this atmosphere in Wembley, for us is a dream come true.
Barcelona. Messi's, you know, rightly so, for me, the best player in the world.
We've got our game plan, we've got our strategy we're going to work from, and we've got to make sure we put that into place.
It doesn't get much more glitzy than this.
Wembley's ready, looking its very best. Fitting venue for what we hope will be a wonderful final. It's our Champions League final coverage. Barcelona against Manchester United, 6 o'clock, Sky Sports HD 1 and 1, also available in 3D. And Gary Neville will be joining the gang here tomorrow evening. Just time to say thanks this evening to Jamie Redknapp, to Graeme Souness, to Ediur Gudjohnsen. All three will be back with us again tomorrow evening. What a final it promises to be. We await what could be a terrific contest. A befitting final for the world's greatest club tournament, really, between two sides, Manchester United and Barcelona, who set off in pursuit of this crown way back in September. And, well, as befits so many of the most marvellous things in life, it's been 9 months in the making to produce something we hope will be very exceptional. Will it be Manchester United? Will it be Barcelona? You'll find out live on Sky Sports tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Nights like no other come alive in the Champions League.